Obviously, obviously, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you are excited about the future. But in this video, it kind of got me thinking. Buffalo Down created a post that talked about the dream scenarios for the Buffalo Bills, and they had a little bit of a twist in this. Some of it was players, some of it was ending like expectations versus goals versus reality and what happens with a historical twist. You're going to want to hang out and check that out. But if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. We would absolutely love to have you. It's our second channel. We love posting about this. The first video we did about the Bills had some good response. So I want to do some more Bills videos here because why not? We like the Bills. I think everybody who grew up my age secretly absolutely loved Buffalo. Buffalo was the team that was going to knock off the Cowboys. Everybody, okay, and by everybody, I mean me. I love Thurman Thomas way more than Emmitt Smith. I love Jim Kelly way more than Troy Aikman. It was like good versus evil, and you just wanted good to overcome, and they didn't. And that's okay. And that's part of what we're going to talk about in this video. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, but still, I have this weird kind of connection to the Bills because we understand Thurman Thomas. We had the backup at Oklahoma State, Barry Sanders. That's the lion back there. We have our other channel, Sports Talk Detroit. But more than that, I get Pistons won a championship. Big Pistons got here, but then they made the NBA Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals like 6 years in a row without winning it again. Those can be really fun and painful times. So let's stop talking about this. Let's talk about 4 dream scenarios. Number one and number 2 involve players on the roster. Number 1 is Dalton Kincaid becomes the next fill in the blank great tight end. Everybody would love to see Kincaid come out, become that great second option. This is what this team has been missing. Gabe Davis did not become that last year. I'm not saying he can't have a decent, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need a true number 2, okay? A true number 2 behind Diggs that's going to really break out and be awesome. All right. And I think he absolutely has the ability to do that. I think him and Sam Laporta are phenomenal rookie tight ends that could kind of take the NFL by storm this year. They're both really great after the catch, which when you see the great tight ends in this league, they're phenomenal after the catch. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, guys like that, phenomenal after the catch. Number 2, and you want to hang around for the good stuff after this, James Cook, and this is straight from Buffalo Down, this one is, solidifies himself as the future back in Buffalo. Like he becomes the guy. Do you believe he can do it? He got off to such a slow start this year. I know because he was on my fantasy team, and he wasn't on my fantasy team when he started doing somewhat relevant things. But he managed 507 yards rushing, and down the stretch, he was more involved in the offense, playing more snaps. All right. Devin Singletary's in Houston's. All signs point to Cook taking the running back responsibilities going forward, as long as they don't get the other brother Cook, but even that would be great too. So, hey, A Cook solidifies themselves as the future back in Buffalo. How about that? All right. The next one is a recent rivalry. That would be the dream season. You want to win the AFC championship. You want to get to the Super Bowl as a Bills fan, but you don't want to beat just anybody, do you? You don't want to beat anybody. How many of you are watching that quarterback documentary on Netflix? How many of you are watching that and you're seeing Patrick Mahomes and you just hate it because you know what that's been like in the playoffs? You remember the overtime. You remember the unfair rule. You remember that there's a rule change made for you guys to make sure that doesn't happen again. How sweet would it be to beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship? Better yet, beat them in Kansas City. Like, how cool? No, forget that. Beat them in Buffalo. Like, you deserve it, Bills fans. Get out there, get in the cold, and enjoy beating the Chiefs in your backyard. All right? Just love it. And this next one, I absolutely love. All right? You win the Super Bowl. Obviously, that would be a dream season. But who is it against? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. Who is the team that you're like, oh, I want revenge on this team? It's the Dallas Cowboys. You want to beat the Cowboys. You want revenge for the 90s. You don't see Tony Pollard in the backfield. You see Emmitt Smith. You don't see Dak Prescott under center. You see Troy Aikman. You don't see CeeDee Lamb running routes. You see Michael Irvin, and you want to end it. And you want to make sure the Cowboys know you may have had the 90s. This is our time. The 20s is the time of the Bills, man. And I think it would be awesome to see you do that. The AFC is getting better and better and better. Now is the time for the Bills to strike. This is the time. It feels like there's a fade going there with the Bills while other teams are starting to get better, right? You have the Chiefs that are the cream of the crop, but you got teams like the Dolphins that all of a sudden people are talking about in your own division. Oh, right. That's another dream season. Sweep it. 6-0 in the division. Let's go. You got the Dolphins that are starting to get respect. The Jaguars are doing a really good job, especially on the offensive end. They're getting better. You always have the Chargers. You always have, some of those teams as well. But what if you could get to the Super Bowl and you could beat the Dallas Cowboys? Like, how sweet would that be? Hey, I'm sure you'd take the Giants. I'm sure you'd take the Washington Commanders, right? Like, I'm sure you'd be fine with any of those teams too. But the Cowboys are the team from the other side, whether it's Thanksgiving matchup, whether it's, a Super Bowl matchup, it doesn't matter. You always want to beat the Cowboys if you're Buffalo. You're everything that they're not. They're everything you're not. Like, they play in the beautiful stadium, the beautiful Jerry World, right down in Dallas. Everybody, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, or you got the Buffalo Bills playing in the cold northern Buffalo, New York, older stadium. And by older, I mean well-seasoned, well-aged, right? That's what we're talking about here. And you have the ability to beat these Cowboys and say, hey, Jerry Jones, you're not going to win another Super Bowl, man. You're not going to get it before your time is up with the Cowboys, before you fully lose your mind. I'm telling you right now, how sweet would that be for the Bills? So if you like that, leave a comment below. Do you have another dream scenario? Do you have another dream scenario where we're like, well, what about this? Like, how cool would this be? So leave that in a comment below. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Maybe check out some of the other teams as well that we're recording on. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.